It's actually quite stunning to me, and I'm so proud about it that I live in this town, that New York functions so successfully when we look at how difficult it is in so many areas of the world for people of different types to live together. The future of our city can't be left only to our political leadership, but ultimate leadership in a community like ours comes from people.
Radical questioning.
Progress.
New ways of thinking.
Exhilaration and intense learning.
Excellence.
Powerful networks.
Partnerships.
New beginnings.
Diverse experiences.
Collaboration.
Relevant.
The Coro New York Leadership Center was founded 25 years ago with a singular goal: to train a new generation of committed civic leaders who can instill confidence in our democratic institutions and advance innovative approaches to New York City's complex challenges. Nationally, Coro was founded 60 years ago, in 1947, to, in the words of one of its founders, introduce a fresh stream of common sense and idealism into our system of self-government.
My name is Quan Pearsall, and I'm a senior at the High School for Public Service. They take high school students from 4 different schools throughout New York City, and they teach them about education policy, and the kids then go into their school and find a problem, and they try to make a change. Before Coro, I would not have gotten up in front of people that I didn't know and spoke about something that I felt passionate about. Because if you didn't put yourself out there and let somebody know, well, hey, this is who I am, I'm Quan, or you would have nobody to talk to. You would just sit in your little corner and just not say anything to anybody. Just to see somebody, like, I guess, mess up. I mean, in life you mess up. It breaks the ice between you and the next person, especially if you don't know them, and that also just knocked that wall down of us not knowing each other.
You know, we would go and meet with people, and we would ask them really tough questions, and then we would have sessions on our own, and we would ask ourselves really tough questions. I'm Dimple Abichandani. I'm an attorney at Legal Services for New York City. 40% of New Yorkers are immigrants or are foreign-born. Do our policies reflect their needs? I think that the Coro program helped me realize that when you're trying to change big entities, you really have to have a strategy that is not cosmetic, but that really goes deep. So the first strategy was to train the staff on how to work with limited English proficient clients. I decided that we had to train everyone. You know, all of our, not just the staff attorneys, but the front desk staff, the administrative staff, and that's never been done before in our organization. But I felt strongly that that was the only way we were really going to transform the culture.
Maurice Coleman. I work for Bank of America. I'm the Community Development Market Executive for Bank of America. So in Coro, I sort of learned the mantra that no one rises to low expectations, because the bar in Coro is always set so high. But I learned those skills so I could use the skills of Wall Street to go back and to build distressed streets in urban communities. There's a project in Harlem called Ennis Francis, which was a project that was facing foreclosure, which is a major issue right now in our country. And we were able to partner, again, with Abyssinian, with LISC, as well as with Enterprise, and also with the City of New York. So it was a private sector partnership, it was a government partnership, and it was a not-for-profit partnership, sort of the 3 legs of the stool. And where Coro has really helped me is in figuring out how to build consensus. And that's so critical, because oftentimes there's no right or wrong answer, but you really want to use your skills to build consensus so you can continue to move the needle in the direction of progress, and you can continue to get people to work together towards a common goal.
And I'm currently the Commissioner of Parks and Recreation. I oversee 29,000 acres of land. That's almost 14% of New York City, and pretty much all the fun stuff that happens in life in New York is part of my domain. The renaissance of the park system owes a great deal to public-private partnerships. Nonprofit groups raise about $100 million a year to help program and maintain and restore parks. The Coro experience was vital to learning how to work in public-private partnerships. You learned that government thinks differently from the nonprofit sector, and the nonprofit sector thinks differently from the corporate sector, and how do you learn to talk to those different groups? I think one of the most valuable lessons I learned was the whole concept of the environment. Not the environment as in rivers and streams, but the environment as in the financial, the political, the geopolitical, what's happening around you that's going to affect every little thing you do.
One of the things that strikes people often is when we share with them the list of where our Coro graduates are in New York City. They're often stunned. Those that know Coro say, well, gee, I knew Coro produced a lot of very talented people, but are still struck.
I think there's a sense of continuity in a Coro community as well, right? So I was a Coro fellow, a Coro alum, and now a Coro staff member facilitating another Coro program. So they see that the current young people in the Coro Exploring Leadership program are interested in Coro beyond the Coro Exploring Leadership program.
I do eventually see myself going for my PhD. My dream is to be a psychologist.
We had such a great group. You know, I feel like I really learned from each one of the fellows in our program.
I made lifelong friendships and collegial relationships. If I hadn't made those kinds of contacts, I probably wouldn't be Parks Commissioner today.
You can recreate yourself. Coro teaches you that. It teaches you to retrofit your skills to pretty much do anything.
It's more than just what the mission says. It's more of how you apply it to your life. Coro represents change, and in this world, change is needed. And that's a good thing.